Boy State, Eric Finch.
All right, it's my great pleasure to introduce your governor of the 2013 Mountaineer Boy State, Eric Finch.
Thank you. Please be seated. It is a great honor and pleasure, excuse me, I'm talking a little bit too loud, to serve Mountaineer Boy State as their governor. And just know that I want to help each and every one of you. And please remember that it's an honor for you guys as well to be within these chambers in Charleston, the state capital of West Virginia. And I'd just like to express my gratitude to be able to represent each and every one of you and the ones that are still at the camp. And just let you know that I'm very humbled to serve as the governor of the American Legion Mountaineer Boy State. And throughout life and throughout politics, we will always have challenges, weaknesses, strengths. And the beauty of it all is being able to come or to surpass our challenges and our weaknesses and turn our weaknesses into strengths. One of my personal weaknesses is being able to speak clearly. And oftentimes, when I speak, and to myself it sounds amazing, but to those listening, sometimes sounds like it was all just curled up like a ball of paper. And so I ask that you listen carefully, wait till I completely explain myself, take a couple seconds, and then think about what I said. Don't look at it as if I'm an extremist, because I promise you, that's not my intentions. The executive branch, myself and my cabinet, we have been working very hard to propose a budget to you all, and I'm pleased to say that we have completed the budget. And amongst that, we did not make very many changes. However, we increased health and human resources, and I'll tell you why we did such, and we increased public education as well. And of course, with those increases, there were decreases and cuts amongst other departments of the government. And I just have one major question for you guys today. What is the future of the state of West Virginia? Is it technology? Is it construction? Is it politics? Is it government? Personally, I think it's education. Without education, there is no future. You must educate people so they can make the right decisions in the future. And in the words of Ag Commissioner Dylan Frazier, the education of today is the success of tomorrow. And I just thought that was a great quote of his, because it's true. You educate people today so they can be your leaders in the future, so they can make the right decisions in the future, so that they can represent the whole state, the whole district that they represent, and possibly even further into the national government in Washington. My committee, my cabinet, and myself believe that drug testing and government assistance is a huge issue, and that education reform is an additional huge issue. writing bills to get to the legislators, and we have completed a few of those, and I believe your Speaker and President have them. We all know that with education, each and every county is a little bit different. Some counties, basically, they're not very industrialized, to say the least. They farm a lot. Some of them, they coal mine a lot. Some of them, they're technology. They have huge universities in them. And that's what they know. They know universities and corporations. And that's why we have county board of education, so they can make the personal decisions for that county. But it's also still important that the state plays a role. And with us all have went through the education system of West Virginia, we know, of course, there are some problems. And my recommendation is that we fix those problems, and that we fix them completely before we just go putting money in them. However, we did make a little bit of an increase in the budget for education. That's because to fix problems, you need money. You had to pay people to look into the issues. You have to somehow get the money to fix it, because we know if there's a problem, it's like this. Okay, your basement, you have all your pipes and you have a huge leak. And can you just fix that leak for free to fix your sink? No, you have to bring in a plumber, and you know he's going to charge you a lot, and he's probably going to have to replace a pipe, and probably going to have to use some kind of industrial putty and all this other stuff. So when it's all said and done, you have a little pin-sized hole, and it's going to cost you a few $100s, right? So we had to increase the budget just a little bit for education reform. And also with higher education, we believed that with Promise Scholarship, it's a great thing, but maybe we should look into adding different levels of Promise Scholarship. Most institutions in the state of West Virginia offer, like Promise Beyond, but we're looking into the state offering such a thing. As in, you get Promise at such an ACT score, and if you score 30, for example, you get an even larger sum of money to help pay for your education. Because like I said earlier, the education of today is the success of tomorrow. So you must spend money into education. And also, with teen pregnancy. We know that's a huge issue. We're one of the few states that our teen pregnancy rate is decreasing, but not significantly. So that means we're kind of working, but we need to work harder. We need to make sure that we put a stop to teen pregnancy. And the only way to do that is through education and through means of birth control, however the legislator sees fit. So there's a lot that we have to talk about these next few days between education, teen pregnancy, government assistance, and child obesity. That's one I have forgotten. Nothing against everyone here. It's not like I can be mean to obese people, because you look at myself. We all know that it's not right to be fat, and that's not, excuse me for my language, it's not healthy to be not healthy, to say it in simple terms, excuse me. But that starts at a young age, when kids before they can even speak really. Their parents feed them. They have pediatricians that know how to feed them properly, and the parents feed them properly. But then it comes into where there's snacks, and they're like, oh, I love sugar. It tastes amazing, right? I think we all like some sweets every now and then. So it starts young. You get a craving for good tasting stuff. And then by the time you become a teenager, that's all you want, good tasting stuff. And we had to start at young, elementary school, teaching them that it's better to eat healthy and live longer than to eat tastefully and live less. And also, another thing, with eating healthy, you're kind of, my cabinet, we're proposing a corporate tax being lowered to bring in corporations such as a grain mill in the eastern panhandle of the state of West Virginia, which will then increase farming in West Virginia, which will then increase access to healthy food in the state of West Virginia, which will in turn make West Virginia a more healthy state, which needs to be done and needs to be done quick and soon. To sum up the speech, once again, I just want to thank you, and thank you for working with me in advance, because I know we are all here for the same thing. We're not worried about our parties anymore. We're not worried about passing a bill. We're worried about passing the proper bills, bettering the state of West Virginia. And one more thing, on a side note, kind of, aside from the state of West Virginia, with Mountaineer Boys State, the executive branch proposed a bill stating that counselors will receive the food from the table at all 3 meals, because we feel as if oftentimes, by the time the bowl of food comes to them, it's empty. And they have to go up and get the food, and we feel as if we need to show respect towards them, thank them for all they do throughout the week to make this camp possible, and just show it, express our gratitude, and let them take their serving of food first. We think that's a small and easy measure, but it means a lot, it shows a lot, and it proves a lot. And that's really the only bill that we passed for Mountaineer Boys State. Everything else, we're looking at the state of West Virginia, because we know that also affects Mountaineer Boys State. And in conclusion, once again, sorry for jumping back and forth. Thank you for representing your counties and your cabinets. And I know we're going to have a great future ahead of us, because I'm looking at the leaders of West Virginia in 10, 20 years, and I'm pleased to say it. I look and I see amazing leaders. I know you guys aren't concerned about the political correctness. You're concerned about the future of the state of West Virginia. Thank you, and God bless.